Hi fellow crafters. Today I have another Mother's Day card idea for you to create, one that is simple to make, beautiful to look at, and uses a fun technique. I'm going to be using, once again, my Sending Smiles bundle, love it, and my Timeless Tulip stamp set. Shall we get started? Hey everyone, I'm Terri from nutsaboutsstamping.com. I love sharing techniques and project ideas for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking with you each week. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be the first to be notified when my next video goes live. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love for you to choose me. Be sure to watch all the way through my video for my bonus tips and design ideas. Now, let's wow our mothers. The Sending Smiles bundle will be available for you to order next month when the new annual catalog goes live. As I mentioned last week, Stampin' Up! Demonstrators can pre-order from the upcoming catalogs a month in advance so that we have time to create sample ideas to share with you, like I'm doing today. Now, I chose this bundle on my very first pre-order because it is a Stamp and Go set. All the images are solid, so they don't require time to color in. The dies are a perfect complement, as you can see. If you want to see another Sending Smiles Mother's Day card idea, why not check out this video next? Now, as this is a Mother's Day card, I'm going to use my Timeless Tulip stamp set for this lovely Mother's Day phrase. This set is retiring at the end of April, and it may already be sold out, but you can check that out over on my online store. And then another product that is retiring soon is the Tasteful Textures embossing folder, which is what I'm going to use today to add a subtle touch to one of my card layers. So let's get going. My card base is going to be Soft Succulent, and it's going to be a portrait layout. And to that, I am going to add a layer of pale papaya. You know, I don't use this color very often, so I thought, well, for Mother's Day, it's a really beautiful, soft color. So I'm going to use it on my card. So I'm going to attach it first, and then I am going to set aside the card base and work on the layer for the front. Next, I'm going to take a layer of basic white cardstock, and I am going to stamp on it using this leaf image from the Sending Smiles stamp set and my Soft Succulent ink. Now I'm going to stamp off a little bit. And what I want to do is re-ink this image, and I want to stamp sort of a wreath kind of shape, like so. Okay, not perfect, but that's okay, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, remember at the beginning of the video, I said I was going to use my Tasteful Textures embossing folder. So what I'm going to do now that I have stamped this sort of wreath shape, I want to emboss it with my embossing folder. So I'm going to tuck the entire layer inside the embossing folder. I'm going to head over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll emboss this and I'll come back and show you the next step in making this card. There we go. And there is the embossed layer. I love it because it is subtle, but it also adds a lovely texture component to the card, which I think is really a fun technique to stamp and then emboss rather than emboss and then add layers on top. Now the next thing I'm going to do is bring in a couple of scrap pieces of basic white cardstock, my pale papaya ink, and I have got this little flower from the Sending Smiles stamp set. And what I want to do is stamp 7 flowers down on my paper scraps. And then I am going to go back to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to die cut all of them out using this little die. But before I do that, I forgot one thing. I'm going to take some early espresso ink, and then there's this tiny flower center, and I'm going to ink this and stamp it down in the center of each one of these flowers, and then I'm going to die cut them out. There we go. I have the flowers ready to go as layers and sort of like embellishments for the front of my card. Next thing I want to do is take that Mother's Day phrase from the Timeless Tulip stamp set. I'm going to come back with my pale papaya ink. I'm going to ink up the Mother's Day phrase, and I'm going to stamp it down on this scrap piece of basic white cardstock, but over on the right-hand side of this layer. Then I'm going to attach the basic white phrase to a layer of Soft Succulent using my Stampin' Seal. Now, for attaching the phrase, I want to come to the very end on the left-hand side, and oh, it's a little crooked. Let me just fix it. And so that I have a little bit of the Soft Succulent showing on the right-hand side. There we go, like so. Now I have some of my pale papaya open weave ribbon, and what I want to do is create a knot on the left-hand side. That's why I left a little bit of room on the left-hand side. So I'm going to cut a piece of the open weave ribbon, and I'm going to tie it in a knot, and then I'll come back and show you how to put all of these elements together to finish off this beautiful Mother's Day card. Back in a moment. The next thing I want to do is take this basic white layer that I've embossed, and I want to attach it to my card front. There we go. Now I'm going to bring in my phrase, and I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal, and I want to put the phrase in the middle of my wreath, like so, with its pretty little bow, or knot. I guess it's a knot, not a bow. Now I want to bring in these flowers that I have stamped and die cut, and some mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I want to attach these flowers to the wreath that I have created by using the stamped leaves. So this is why I said initially you don't have to worry about this being a perfect wreath shape, because you're going to cover up a lot of it by using the flowers that you have stamped and die cut. There we go. I've got the flowers attached. Isn't that pretty? It's really coming together beautifully. Now, the last thing I want to do is bring in some embellishments. And what caught my eye right away were these genial gems. We've got two colors, the green and then sort of the papaya color. I think what I'm going to do is take some of the papaya ones and add them to the front of my card. And there we go. I ended up using one large gem and 4 small ones to complete my card. If you would like a complete listing of the supplies that I used, the measurements for the layers, and the product numbers in case you want to order the products to make this card at home, I'll link to my blog post in the description box under this video. Now I have a quick question for you. What products would you like to see me feature on my next video? I invite you to leave me a comment underneath this video to let me know, and maybe I'll make a special video just for you. I'm Terri. I am nuts about stamping. I hope you'll try this beautiful Mother's Day wreath card someday soon. Bye for now.